All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the wake up call. Uh, we are live. It is March the 7th, 2025. We have the big crypto summit today. So we're going to see how that shakes out. If you're new to the show, we go over the crypto news and analysis and our hot takes. How's everyone feeling out of 10?
I would say three.
3 out of 10. Well, all right, let's get into it. We got a lot of big stories. Of course, the biggest of them all, Trump signs the Bitcoin executive order into law where they will not be selling any of their Bitcoin.
That's right. So we saw an initial reaction, right? We saw the market dump, and it was a very scary moment. Bitcoin went to what, $85,000, and what was going on? So we saw essentially no mention. Here's what you were told about the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. You were told that there was going to be buying of 200,000 Bitcoin a year for the next 5 years. And what you saw with the actual signing of the executive order was no mention of that. I would say is probably no intention of that, of printing money to buy Bitcoin. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, the market priced in a, oh no, they're not going to print money to buy Bitcoin. But I just made a video about this. I think this is actually brilliant. Short term, we would have seen a huge pump if that was the plan, to buy a million Bitcoin over 5 years. But I think long term, this is fantastic. And the big reason why is because the messaging with this is that there's no United States stock market, or sorry, no, I got distracted by a comment here. No United States money printing to buy Bitcoin. It's just we're going to acquire Bitcoin over the way that we've been acquiring it, by seizing it or whatever else. And so the next administration, if it's anti-crypto administration, I think is less likely to dump their bags, dump the bags that have been accumulated. So we're going to diamond hand in the United States, and that's going to be good. What'd you say?
I said 2029, the big one.
2029.
Listen, here's my thoughts on it. I don't know. See, I saw the video that you said 198,000. I was tracking 215. Maybe they sold a little bit off. But either way, whether it's 198,000 Bitcoin that they hold or it's 215,000, I don't know in what world them signing into law that they're not going to sell that is bearish.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this is what I think. So I have a little bit differing opinion on you, just what this means policy wise. What I think is this is two separate issues, and people were lumping them in together as one. So, meaning what I mean by that is you have the issue of what do we do with all this seized corrupt money, so to speak, that we've gotten from, I can't even say the road that we're talking about, or we'll get in trouble by Big Brother. But you know where it came from. What do we do with this money? And then the money printing to buy more Bitcoin. To me, these are separate issues. And we were sort of, as retail, we were expecting them to be all one issue. But I think it's like, one thing at a time. The governments move very, very slowly, much slower than we would like. But either way it goes, this is a net positive to me. Yeah. Definitely in the long term.
Yeah.
All right. And, that's a good segue into Congressman Nick says it's time for America to become the first Bitcoin superpower. I'm working on something big with Senator Loomis. Again, I don't think that it's I cut you off there. I don't think that just because this EU was signed into order doesn't mean that the thing that we were talking about isn't still going to be worked on. It's just going to have to go through Congress and be legally adopted so that it cannot be illegally unadopted.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, so we know, if you know anything about Senator Loomis, I mean, she's by far the most vocal U.S. senator or congressperson when it comes to her support on Bitcoin. So working on something big. I mean, I don't know what that means. You know, sure that means that they're probably going to propose that the U.S. would actually buy Bitcoin, but I have a hard time thinking that would make its way through Senate and Congress. But I mean, maybe there's something else. Maybe there's something entirely different that they'd be working on. So let's wait and see on that.
See, I think it will get through Senate and Congress, but I think that it's going to take longer than what people want. And I think
Yeah.
it'll probably actually be the top. Like it might take 6 months or 9 months, and it'll probably be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. That's my prediction on that.
Maybe.
But Bitcoin or Texas passes the bill SB 21, passes the Texas Strategic Reserve. So Texas will be buying Bitcoin with extra taxpayer dollars. And we've talked about this. This is a big deal. Texas is the size of Canada, France, Mexico. It's about the same GDP as if Texas or Canada, France, or Mexico just decided that they're going to take taxpayer dollars and buy Bitcoin.
Yeah. 8th largest economy in the world is Texas. And so, I mean, all right, let's be technical here. Governor Abbott has to sign it, but
Yes.
that's the only thing left. And that's something. So when you pair this with the United States Bitcoin Strategic Reserve potentially not buying Bitcoin, I mean, maybe they will, maybe they won't. The idea that all these states would come in, I mean, not all of them, but many of them would come in with larger economies, I think, than we tend to think, and they would also buy Bitcoin. I mean, on a long enough timeline, that's very bullish for Bitcoin.
Yes. I mean, even if, like, let's say 10 of the 50 states pass into law where they actually buy, like, that's a big deal. I mean, a lot of the states, some states are tiny, but a lot of them, like Texas, is bigger than most countries. In fact, almost all of them, except for a handful. So yes, Greg Abbott has to pass it into law, but it's sitting on his desk. And from the time that we reported this I think it was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, this actually went a lot quicker than I anticipated.
Yeah.
So from the time that they introduced it as a bill, passed it as a bill, introduced it to the Senate, and then the Senate passed it, that was actually pretty quickly. And it passed 25-5, which I think shows an overwhelming amount of support as well. Now, it is, I think, important to note that Greg Abbott is a Republican and he is pro Bitcoin. So I don't, I don't want to be like, oh, he's going to pass it. It's guaranteed. But I think that it's expected to pass into law, and Texas is that's a big deal. All right, time for everybody's game. Bull or bear?
Bull or bear?
All right.
Lots of bears today.
Lots of bears today. The Bitcoin Strategic Reserve as we know it. Bull or bear? Are you a bull or bear?
I am a bull. I'm a mega bull. I've already said it's brilliant. I applaud the forward thinking of it and not just thinking about today. Even though redemption, you're commenting about realistically we're cycle hunters. We're not interested in 2029. Speak for yourself. I have children. I care about them. And I care about their future. And this points to a much brighter future, long-term future than just the United States straight up buying 1 million Bitcoin. So mega bull on that statement.
Yes. Me too. And I kind of talked about it a little bit. I think that they're separate issues. I think that the other one that we know is still being worked upon, but this is a separate issue of what do we do with all this Bitcoin that we have seized.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Forward looking. Now, I got to be honest, when I was watching your video this morning, and I commented this, but man, the first thing that I was thinking is like, you were talking about 2029, a new administration coming in and being just like this bear on Bitcoin. I'm like, damn, I don't know. I think that we're not out of the woods for that just yet. I think that's a realistic possibility. If we ever were to break a cycle, it would be to the upside now, and then being a prolonged, like, boom in 2029. And I agree with you as well. Redemption, speak for yourself. I've said it 100 times. My timeline is not 2 minutes, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. It's 2 decades.
Yes, sir. Me too.
All right. Bull or bear? Trump will be a net positive for the crypto industry.
Key words there will be, because he, for those people who like redemption only care about today and don't care about tomorrow. He has not been a net positive within an extremely small time frame, but I'm taking it. Will be. I'm a bull on that statement. Are we in bull and bear still? Yeah, I'm a bull.
We're still bull bear.
Yeah.
I'm a bull on that as well. Again, like, I just uploaded the video when he passed the executive order last night, and I did like the SpongeBob quote, like where every other is capitalized. It's like, but on the 1 minute timeline, it's dropping. Yeah. It's been down 109. I mean, obviously, like, I think people have to take into account too, when we made our all-time high was on the election night.
Yeah.
So I don't know. People are attributing, and I'm not a political person. I don't care. I think if you think that a person in charge makes you succeed or makes you lose, like, you've already lost anyways. That's my personal opinions. But I think right now I agree with you. It hasn't been crazy bullish, but net positive over the course of 4 years. I think it will be. All right, bull or bear? Alts will benefit from the Bitcoin strategic reserve.
All right. Speaking of on a long enough timeline, I mean, if it's just a Bitcoin strategic reserve and it's not Solana or Ethereum or XRP or Cardano, Bitcoin dominance, I believe, would climb to new heights. If we're talking about short-term gains from a potential Bitcoin strategic reserve, then alts will go up. Will they go up before or more than Bitcoin would as a whole? That's the question. I'm going to say bull on this statement.
Yes, I'm. Damn it. We need to disagree on something, Alex. Yeah, I'm a bull as well. I think that I've said it 100 times. Rising tides floats all ships. It may not be on the 1 minute time frame like some of you guys are doing your chart analysis on, but over the broader term, I think that it will definitely be bullish for altcoins. And I think I read somewhere it's only 7% of institutions, of like all the Bitcoin is owned by institutions. So that means 97% is still exactly how it's been. And what is exactly how it's been? Well, it's been that the Bitcoin bulls rotate into altcoins. And this idea too, that institutions aren't going to do that. When we're seeing them apply for all these different ETFs, I think it's a fallacy. But I'm a bull on that. All right, overrated, underrated. The Bitcoin strategic reserve, overrated or underrated, Alex?
Underrated. That's all I'll say. We talked about it enough. Underrated.
Underrated for me as well. I think it's a big deal, a bigger deal than what people think. And I've seen some tweets going around, talking about how this could start an arms race. We kind of talked about it the last live stream on Wednesday that we did. Very quickly, I think a possibility that could be, and I don't want to be like this FOMO, like get in now before it's too late. I'm not going to do that. But if you let me FOMO just a little bit, a possibility, a realistic possibility is there becomes a state arms race. There becomes a country arms race. There becomes an institutional arms race of like a cold war of accumulating Bitcoin. Now, there will be ramifications, secondary and tertiary from that may not be good, but I think it could be a big deal.
All right.
Bull or overrated, underrated. Retail is broke, so no. No alt season.
That is an overrated statement. I've seen your content talking about this. Where's the money coming from? I mean, it could come from nation states around the world, so overrated.
Yeah, I think this is the most overrated narrative that I'm seeing floating around the internet, that there cannot possibly be a bull market. There can't be an alt season. We can't do X, Y, and Z because retail is just so broke. And this idea that retail leads anything, is a fallacy. When retail is investing, it's time to get out. That's the reality. Retail, and I've
Yeah.
made videos about this as well. The sentiment is not going to change on retail. It will not change until Bitcoin makes a new all-time high. That's the reality. When Ethereum makes a new all-time high, when XRP makes a new all-time high, when Solana makes a new all-time high, Bitcoin makes a new all-time high, that's when the sentiment is going to change. And guess what? You missed your opportunity by that point. There will still be, 20, 30% gains, but you're not going to have this like life-changing gains that, I think a lot of the mistakes that people made was they got into crypto in November and not of
Yeah.
2022, but of 2024.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the most overrated thing that I think exists right now. This idea that retail has to have money. It's like, no, they don't. Yeah. All right. Overrated, underrated. The DXY right now, as we speak, is falling off a cliff.
I would say that's an underrated statement. I mean, something's got to give, right? The DXY, I mean, my goodness, this thing is plummeting. And so typically, for those of you who don't know, when the DXY plummets, that is fodder for good returns on risk on investments. So, we're not seeing that yet in the price action, but it's not like a 100% direct correlation or even a causation. It's a thing to observe. So something's got to give.
It's a thing to observe. I would agree with that statement. Yeah, I think it's underrated. Risk on assets. Somebody is lying, right? I've said this a little bit, and I think we're already starting to see it. The stocks and crypto does not fall at the same time that the DXY is. I think that the DXY is telling the truth. That's what I think. All right, and that's a good segue into the charts. So I'll let you.
Okay, so I'm going to keep it pretty simple today. There are two charts that I'm giving the most of my attention to, and that is the total 2, the total altcoin market cap, and the total 3, the total altcoin market cap minus Ethereum. And so total 2 is kind of the line in the sand as to where we break through the total 2, we break through the trend line, the downtrend on the total 2. That's when I would be interested in deploying a lot of money into altcoins. We are not there yet. We are very close. I do not think we're going to get rejected the next time we, within a few days, maybe next week or something. That I think that's going to be a time that would be ideal for getting into altcoins. And the reason why I think it would happen next week is we can see we've already broken through on the total 3 and we've back tested 2 times. And so I've seen a lot of comments during this live stream saying it's over. A lot of people saying it's over. I saw comments, I don't know if this is true, that Ty has sold 15% of his crypto. Ty, who has been more bullish than Ty? And if that's true, okay, here's the deal. Let's say it's over. Let me entertain you guys for a second that it's over. Here's what is most likely, in my opinion, going to happen next is that we are going to have a move to the upside in the total altcoin market cap. And then wherever that goes, that's where we're going to go, whether it's new all-time highs or a lower high, lower than the all-time high or lower than the December peak, which actually was the all-time high in total 3. I believe that the next move is a move up. And then, again, let me entertain you and say you guys are saying that it's over. Here's the deal. I mean, look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is in really bad shape right now, this is the kind lost the 200-day moving average for the first time in a while. This is the kind of fear that I like buying into. And so let's just say the NASDAQ, let's say it's over, that the NASDAQ has peaked. The next move is a move up in the NASDAQ, which correlates with a move up in crypto. So whatever the case, I am still mostly on the sidelines. I am still mostly on the sidelines with my stable coins. The next move for me is I am very soon going to be buying, and we'll see when. I think next week for a lot of my altcoins. So
someone in my chart made me laugh, or in my chat made me laugh. They said, to be fair, Ty can't read charts.
Yeah, I see that.
I don't know if that's true.
Somebody else said something about Ty in the YouTube live. Whatever. I don't care. I like Ty.
Yeah.
He's my friend.
Yeah. I don't know. It just made me laugh. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to say I wasn't laughing at you, Alex. Yeah. I think, listen, nothing has changed for me. And even if I don't agree at all. Like I've remained a bull this whole time. I've been bullish on the dinosaur coins, not the coins that were pumping like crazy in November. Like I've been bearish on a lot of coins. In fact, I would argue if you went into a lot of my live streams, you would have probably called me a bear, because every time I was asked about a coin, it would already did like a 2, 3, 4, 5x. And, yeah, like I would say, like, take profits on those coins. Like lots of examples like SUI, XEN. There's just, Land Wolf, like Penlink, so many examples of coins where people would ask me, even XRP when it was at $3+ where, what do you think about XYZ? And I would say, like, take profit. So people would have thought I was a bull or a bear back then, even though I wasn't. But yeah, I have not flipped, and I don't think I'm going to until we get some real bad things that would really be different. But as far as I'm concerned, we haven't gotten that right now. But even if you were to entertain it and live in like a crazy land of like where the data doesn't matter, I would argue that, okay, so if you were to entertain it, right, it's over. Well, you know what that means is we had one of the weakest bull markets ever. And you know what that means? There's a secondary consequence of that is people think that it means it's going to go down lower. I don't think so, because what really gives you the momentum of really falling off a cliff is being way overbought. And that means that we wouldn't have been way overbought, the least overbought that we've ever had in history. So if it's really over, I don't agree. I don't think that at all. But if it's really over, guess what? We're going to, instead of 78K, we're going to 70, maybe 68K. That's what it means. So there you go. Your anxiety is gone. Now what? Where I think it stands, I'm open-minded to Bitcoin making a new low, or taking out the 78K low. I'm open-minded to that. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm leaning way more towards we're going to break this downtrend. I'm leaning way more towards that. I'm open-minded to it, though. However, the altcoins, the Total 2, the Total 3, I think have bottomed. And I've been saying that since the tariffs, and they've pretty much held. They look even better to me than Bitcoin. When I look at Bitcoin right now, we're in this kind of higher low movement right now, and we haven't broken out to a higher high at this point in time yet. But that's the next thing that we need. We need to make a higher high to break the downtrend. But things are looking good. Things are looking even better for me as far as the Total 2, the Total 3. I've been pretty firm on that I think that Total 2, Total 3, others, everything else has bottomed. We haven't went lower since February 3rd. I believe that was the tariff news, like the first time it was announced. So we haven't went lower on any of those since that moment. To me, I don't know how you feel about this, but to me, the sentiment right now, I've been comparing it a lot to 2022 and just retail being at the lowest and all this and that. I think that is true, but also I'm thinking about it. The more that I think about it, the more that I ponder on it. What this kind of reminds me of a lot, actually, is 2023, in that, we had some of the most bullish news imaginable. The BlackRock ETFs was the big thing, right? And the entire time, retail was just completely disbelieving that this was going to happen. No, they're not going to do it. They're not really going to do it. And we just kept getting badgered with little micro updates on this. And people became exhausted. And then they just stopped believing that it was going to happen. And then it happened. And it wasn't until, like this whole entire time, like we were getting news about the Bitcoin ETFs during all of this chop. And this is when it actually got approved, was right here on this local top right here. So this was the day that the Bitcoin ETF got approved right here, just so everyone's tracking on this local top. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of the sentiment of despair, disbelief that it's not actually going to happen. But to me, it would be even more crazy than even BlackRock.
So somebody, okay, you can show my chart. That's why I wasn't planning on doing well. All right, here's the feel that I have right now is like, and I'll say this mostly for the stock market right now, is it can't go up. Like there's just that's the mindset with people is like there's no end in sight. It can't go up, and my mindset right now when I hear that is for let's get in. I want to buy right now. I want to buy very soon at least. So, man, all right, please go ahead. I'm actually looking for a chart that I would love to. I saw it on X, and so I'm looking through some posts here.
All right, you find that. I'm going to talk about the DXY while you do that. So I made a video a couple of days ago talking about the 200 EMA and how I wanted to see, like, we were kind of flirting with this, and this is typically a point of resistance. And what I wanted to see was a full body close below the 200 EMA to really kind of confirm this breakthrough, which is what we need, in my opinion, for the stock market, for Bitcoin. And we have gotten that. This body is fully below the 200 moving average. Now, it wouldn't be weird to kind of come back test it, and then roll back over again. That would be a pretty normal move. But, the DXY isn't like a cryptocurrency. It doesn't like fall like this. It doesn't have these violent, volatile moves. So the fact that it's moving like this, I think, is pretty significant. Someone said I would be very surprised if we get significant move before the end of quantitative tightening, which means it could be a ways off. That's the narrative. And listen, I've talked about this. Me and Alex disagree on this. 2021, we had quantitative easing, and I think it certainly helps. But also, like, China is doing quantitative easing, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that is a thing. But also, 2017, there was quantitative tightening. So we've had a bull market with quantitative tightening. We've had a bull market with quantitative easing. I think quantitative easing will help, but I don't think it's necessary, personally. Alex would disagree.
Yes, I do disagree. But how do I disagree? My disagreement is that we wouldn't go to the 40% tile range in Bitcoin's dominance.
Well, we agree there.
So, we do agree on that. I thought that you said that we would go to 40% tile.
No, my target is high. Like, if we're lucky, high 40s, but low 50s.
Okay.
So we agree on that.
Okay. Well, I think that can happen, but the difference is in 2018 and in 2021, we went to the lower. We actually, in 2021 at least, went under 40%, and I'm saying that that's not going to happen. While we're in a phase of quantitative tightening. So we agree on the percentage. So I am agreeing with Crayon Dave's comment there to some regards. I'd be curious to know where he thinks it's going to go Next.
I'd like to know where we actually went in 2017. So while we had quantitative tightening, it's a little bit different because there's way less coins. This is where I'll entertain like, oh, we have too many coins. Is in 2017. It went all the way to 35%. I don't think that is going to happen. But I think
Yeah.
I'm with you that I think that we can get into all-time highs for some altcoins as well as Bitcoin with quantitative tightening. But I'm with you that I don't think that we're going below 40%. I think even with quantitative easing, we would be lucky to get below 40%.
Yeah. Yeah. We're I mean, you see the trend there. Absolute best case scenario would be lower 40s.
Yeah.
So
I put my targets out. 52%, as low as 47%, and that's just the Fibonacci's. That's the 382 and the 236. So that's where I think we're going to get, regardless. Quantitative tightening, quantitative easing.
yeah. Well, I couldn't find the chart that I was looking for. Here's what I remember seeing on the chart is when Trump introduced tariffs during his first term, we had a similar dump off in the NASDAQ and then a full reversal. Now, again, I'm not saying that we're having a full reversal this time around, but there was a period after the first announcement of the tariffs of extreme fear in stocks and in particular in tech stocks. So
do we think Bitcoin hits all-time high before sell in May?
how about you go ahead with that?
I think
Devin?
so. Yes, I think so. Because before then, likely what's going to happen, let's say the United States government just takes their sweet old time. I'll buy that. Let's say it takes all the way until 2026 for them to actually pass it into law. I'll buy that. Because governments move extremely slow. But like who is like on the doorstep right now are the states. And again, like Texas, I think that's a very underrated thing that nobody is talking about. I haven't seen another video even being made about it personally. Yeah. So I think that alone can get us back above 109 for sure. So, and then the sell in May too. Like I've talked about this. I just want to be so clear because people are going to be like, you said sell in May, Ski. I don't necessarily think that timing it is probably a great move. Maybe it is, but I think what's going to happen between June, July, August is it's going to be boring. I'm not predicting a massive dump off in August or something like that. What I'm predicting is boredom through June, July, August.
Yeah, I was talking with somebody on the phone recently about the whole sell in May and go away thing. And listen, I'm a 43-year-old man. I just I don't really care about things like terminology like mental health. I don't care. Just suck it up. And I know I'm being insensitive. Okay. Anyway, I used those words to describe what I think the summer is going to be like. I think it's just going to be torture. Crypto is torture, but I think the biggest thing that is torture about crypto is not the big upswings or the downswings. It's the chop, because it just feels like this impending doom nonstop is in front of you, and any day now we're going to fall off a cliff, and that's worse, in my opinion, as far as like mentally than the big pumps or the big dumps. And I mean, we're kind of in that right now. We've been in that since
November.
Since the announcement of the tariffs. It's just this any day now. It's going to end. So,
and I think if you want to talk about like mental health and a healthy place to be, I think if you understand what the hell it is that you're holding and why you hold it, and you have a bigger time frame than the 5-minute chart, I think you're going to be in a lot better position of like, you believe in Bitcoin long term. So if it goes to 80K, great. You get to lower your average. Or for me, I'd be raising it, but either way. Someone says that the Texas House of Representatives hasn't voted on the bill yet. That's why no one's speaking on it. The SB 21 has passed the House and the Senate.
That's what I thought. Okay.
It has passed the House and the Senate. It's already passed the House. It's already passed the Senate. It's on Greg Abbott's door to be signed into law.
Okay, there we go.
Listen, I'm from Ohio, but I was born in Texas, so I don't know what to claim. But I've been covering the Texas stuff like I'm a Texican or Texan, a Texan. Is Polkadot special or different?
No, it's not special, and no, it's not different. Here's the thing that just drives me crazy about Polkadot. I was a big believer of Polkadot in 2020 when it launched, and I saw my research. I was like, this is the future, and I saw a lot of developers get really excited and move to Polkadot and develop on Polkadot, and even now, development activity on Polkadot is very high, but you need people, you need bodies, you need people actually using Dot, and we're not seeing that, and so it's kind of a sunk cost thing with Polkadot, where all these developers, I mean, they're just going to keep moving, but like if you look at Polkadot's historic market cap dominance, it just continues to go down and down and down. It's something that I'll mess around with short term. Like I actually bought some Polkadot a couple weeks ago because I like the chart, but like I have no hope for Polkadot in the future unless something drastically changes.
Yeah. Well, I think, if it doesn't retrace, I think that will have lots of activity. Nothing like price to change sentiment. I don't mind Polkadot. I think it's a decent value risk to reward on the charts. I don't know that much about the technology of it, in all honesty, but I like the charts on it. I think that it can do a 3 to 5x.
Hey, Devin, question for you from a technical, just live stream standpoint. Is your phone volume on right
Is
now?
it? I don't think so. No, it's definitely
Okay.
not now. I don't know if I fixed it.
All
Am I
right.
echoing?
So I see a comment on my live stream. Alex has a small echo when talking, and I can hear it, but I don't know where that's coming from. Let's just move on. It's a small
Well,
echo.
I definitely confirmed that it's all the way down. Maybe it was up a little bit, but I think I turned it all the way down for sure. So maybe that fixed it.
All right, cool.
If alt season comes, will meme season come in hand? If Solana raises, if Ethereum raises, rising tides floats all ships. And there's nothing like price to change sentiment.
Okay. It's funny that this question is here because I made 3 videos this morning. I didn't have to take my kids to school this morning. My goodness. And what do? I make 3 videos. Man, I wish that every day was like that. But man, driving kids to school, 3 more years, and then my oldest is 16 and she can drive herself, and I don't need to worry about that anymore. But one of the videos that I made, I'm just going to say this right now. It has a very clickbaity introduction to it. And I think I say something like, if we want alt season to happen, meme coins must die. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I mean, like, I actually legitimately believe that dinosaurs are the better play right now. I am buying, when I'm deploying my crypto or my stable coins back into crypto, I will be buying a lot of really boring old cryptocurrencies, VeChain, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. I mean, maybe not Bitcoin Cash because Bitcoin Cash has been on a tear lately, but like that's what's in my mind right now. Because what I think will happen if we have an alt season is something where those will put in, some of them will put in X's, others will just put in percentages, and there will be confidence brought back into the system. And then what happens after that is greed takes over, and all right, it's back to meme coins. You know, I want you to believe that meme coins are dead. If we all just believe that for a season, and then, you know, hey, Bitcoin's been declared dead how many times? You know, so
736.
yes, yes, 700. Are you sure it's that few? You know, so anyway,
Yeah. I'm with Alex. We've talked about this ad nauseum. The dinosaur coins, that's what I've been accumulating. That's what I've been accumulating on this downtrend. And some of them pulled back more than I expected, but I still believe that the risk to reward, especially now, like my God, if you would have timed it better, it would have been now. It would have been like you would have done what Alex did and you would have sold in November and then started reaccumulating in the next week or so. But I do think that right now, if you call this next month, let's say the next 2 weeks, really, I think that for your coins with the good tokenomics, low to no inflation, we're not going to get a better price for like years. That's what I think. I think that when we say memes are dead, I think that when Solana goes up, Ethereum goes up, memes are going to go up too, and the greed is going to take in nothing like price to change sentiment. I'll tell you that I'm not buying any brand new memes. I'll tell you that if a coin has not been around for 6 months, I have no interest in chasing green candles. None. I will be just fine. It's way less stressful to just have coins to make plays on that you believe in. And if you make the wrong timing a little bit, you know what? It's fine because in 10 years, the timing will be just fine. So that's where I'm at with stuff.
All right.
Someone said no capital gains tax exemptions expected at the White House summit. What do you think about that?
That's that's not surprising. No capital gains tax exemptions expected at White House crypto summit. That's going to be a tough one to push through. I dream of this world where all, like, if I were to picture a world where like everything that I ever wanted came true. And I had 10 things, let's just say 10 things that I ever wanted. A no taxes on crypto gains would be in that top 10 list. I mean, maybe no property taxes would be number one on that, you know? So it's just so far off in my head. And maybe that's me being too skeptical and too negative, but like, it's too wonderful to even dream about that something like that would happen. I'm not expecting that today.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say about that. I've been married for 7 years almost, and I've known my wife for almost a decade. She's seen me cry 3 times. Okay, 2 of the times was Inside Out, the movie. It gets me every time. Okay. If we get no capital gains on crypto, she will see me cry for a 4th time, tears of joy. It will just be streaming down. But I will say, too, as I'm like joking about crying, I will say, it's a narrative that we're assuming is going to be bullish, but in reality, what does that actually practically mean? It means that people can sell.
It means people can sell their crypto.
So that might not actually be a great thing like we think it is. It's a great thing for, if you time it right, but in practicality, I don't think it's a great thing.
So, I mean, I think the sell-off would be really short term. And then, because I have thought about that, like there would probably be a big sell-off. But then I really think, like, man, you get enough smart people with lots of money to really put their heads together and figure out how they can capitalize off of that. They'd be putting a lot of money into crypto.
Yeah. Well, I think I 100%. Short term, it would be a massive sell-off. Long term, it would be bullish.
Yeah.
Are you guys tuning into the crypto summit?
No, I'll just make content.
Just make content.
I'll read about it on X.
That's probably the move. I'm going to probably torture myself and stream the whole 4 hours. Yeehaw! Thanks for the hat, mustache. I don't know.
Yeah, I I'm too busy for that. It's like today. What am I doing? I mean, the reason why I didn't drive my kids to school today is because I'm picking them up and taking them to a roller skating rink for some school event, and so I'll be roller skating at Castle Skate Land during the crypto summit. So everyone else have fun watching it. I'll read about it on X.
Uh, yeah, I haven't read. Besides Bitcoin, top 3 large cap cryptos you would hold for 10 years. If Bitcoin's the only one you're
Ooh,
excluding, it would be, for me, it would be XRP, VeChain. Probably, who am I going to pick as number 3?
man, that's a tough one.
For 10 years. Probably
It's funny.
ADA,
Go ahead.
ADA or Link. I'll do 4.
Okay,
I
you said Link 88 or Link.
Yeah.
I mean, so obviously, aside from He and Solana,
Solana.
obviously, I mean, we were just excluding those. Solana.
There you go. Yeah, Solana.
Okay. It's funny you say VeChain was one of your 3. That's one of the first ones that came to my mind. That would certainly be one of my 3. So hey, make some notes, people. We both say VeChain. Would I say XRP? I think I would have to say XRP. And then you know what? Call me crazy. I'm going to say Dogecoin.
I mean, that's the Bitcoin of memes.
Yeah.
Dogecoin is the Bitcoin of memes.
I bought it in 2013. It got hacked. It has outperformed Bitcoin since. I'm not saying it's going to outperform Bitcoin from here, but Dogecoin is never going to die. I'm not going to address the echo, guys. Please stop. Okay. I've already done it. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, I didn't even think about Dogecoin. I could go, for me, so we agree on the top 2. It'd be XRP, VeChain. And then, you could put a basket of 20 coins and you could just like draw one out, and your third one would be fine, probably.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone said, ETH. No, ETH is not a 10-year play for me. I think Ethereum is going to rise, sure, because you're measuring it against the US dollar, which is constantly inflating. But me and Alex both agree that this is the last bull run hoorah for Ethereum, where it's going to be number 2. That doesn't mean it's going to continue to develop. That doesn't mean it's going to continue to rise and appreciate. All these things are going to be true, but I think that it's going to be outpaced by a lot of other coins is what I think.
I agree 100%. The writing's on the wall.
Yeah, it's AOL to me. Like,
yeah,
it had first mover advantage, and your first mover advantage can only take you as far as the technology is exponentially superior. And it's not. I cannot think of a single thing that Ethereum does that's better, cheaper, or faster than literally any other ICP, Solana, HBAR, XRP, like any, meeny, miny, mo. Throw a dartboard at the wall. Like I can't think of anything that is better at any of those things at.
Literally, I mean, that's the amazing thing about it, right? It's like, what is Ethereum better at than, if you put every other layer 1 into a hat and picked out the, just 10 random layer 1s, I would seriously venture to guess that any of the 10 layer 1s, like there's nothing that you could say that Ethereum is better at than any of those things. In terms of, all right, it has money locked into its ecosystem. That doesn't count. I mean, in terms of performance and function, yeah, making money. There we go. For now,
has it outperformed all the rest of those?
I think on average it has, but I know, I mean, we talked about that. Like Solana amazingly has been making more money than Ethereum at times.
Well, even like just price. I think they were talking about price appreciation. I don't think it's done that. It hasn't outperformed Solana. It hasn't outperformed XRP. It hasn't outperformed. Like, what does it outperform?
Yeah.
Someone said, "What's wrong with AOL?" I think it's a great comparison. Like AOL is still here, right?
Yeah.
But
There we
but
go.
there was a time. There was a time when AOL was number one. Like it was the biggest. But they did not update their technology, and it got passed by everything. It got passed by Yahoo, Google, Gmail, everything. And I think that Ethereum is very much the same. Of like it was the best, and then their technology got outperformed, outpassed, and then everything else passed it. It's still here. AOL is still here. I'm pretty sure my grandma still has an AOL. Pretty sure.
Nice.
But that's it.
Yeah.
I think it'll still be here, but it's just going to be like something that you just mentioned in passing. Like, oh yeah, my grandma has that. Like, oh yeah, my grandma has Ethereum.
Yeah. That's funny. I don't think I've used AOL since the 90s. I think the last time I used AOL was 1998.
I was 3 years old. I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with AOL. It's just like there's way better stuff. My PayPal is AOL. PayPal's actually updating, right? PayPal has crypto now. You can on and off ramp crypto.
That's right.
I think a dangerous thing to actually for a business venture, like there's an idea that technology is the way for a business venture, but like you get constantly caught in this loop of like you have to update your stuff and make it the best over and over and over again. If you're selling technology, you have to have the best or you're going to get passed and then you won't be the best. And if you're not the best, you're not going to be making money. So these big companies, I think they understand this, and PayPal. I mean, I think it's pretty great, like that you can on and off ramp PayPal.
So I'm seeing a couple comments here, and I want to address it. So let's say I want to say something nice about Ethereum. Save that kind of talk about Ethereum after the bull run. We need everything we can get. You know, crying emoji, and then somebody on TikTok says, "Leave ETH alone." LOL. I mean, here's
like
the
we're
deal.
bullying Ethereum.
Yeah, we're bullying. Yeah.
Pick on somebody your own size, Alex.
What does World Liberty Financial own? They own Ethereum. What's the most likely crypto to get its own strategic reserve after Bitcoin? It's Ethereum. What is the only other cryptocurrency as of right now that has an ETF? It's Ethereum. So does Ethereum have something going for it to where we could see ETH do very well over a short period of time? Absolutely. We're not talking about, I mean, we both think that Ethereum can do well. We think that the FUD with Ethereum short term, that we've overcorrected. I mean, we're talking about the future. We're talking about the end of this decade and going to next decade and then beyond that.
Yes. For this bull market, I think we both think, I don't want to speak for Alex, but I think that Ethereum will make price discovery $7,000. And I think it will lead the alt season. I think it goes into price discovery. It will still be number 2 for this entire, next 2-3 years. And then I think something will overtake its place.
Yeah. And please, I mean, we can't rely on Ethereum anymore. If we need Ethereum to trigger a 2029 bull run, then we're doomed. I mean, you would already say we're doomed in 2029. So,
I already think so. So
yeah,
if that's it, Ethereum's leading the bull run. That's it. Ethereum becomes number 1 in 2029. That's what 2029 looks like to me. No.
I got a comment from a friend here, Ben Whitehouse on TikTok. And I really feel for you, man. He says, "Hey, Alex, I just sold my portfolio. The pain had to end." I don't want to rail on a comment like that. Here's what's going to happen if you sell your entire portfolio right now. You will feel a lot better. Okay, you'll feel a sense of relief, and you'll be set free from this prison that a large majority of you have been in. Now here's the fear with that is that when people I have panic sold crypto and stocks in the past, and psychologically when I've done that was the dumb money time to do that. And then I saw what happened. I mean, I know you guys have seen the Bogdanov brothers video where it's like, he sold, pump it, and just be aware that might happen. It might happen, or you know what? Maybe you'll be all right. You will be all right, Ben. It's okay.
When I first started investing, um, when I would try to time the market, it would be like I would time the market to lose the most amount of money possible. That's I would sell out of fear, and then the market would turn around, and then I would FOMO back in, and I would buy the top, and then it was just like I was in this washing machine of just timing it the worst possible way that you can imagine. That's what I did when I first started investing.
All right. Hey, Ben just bought his whole portfolio back. That's what he says on X. So, or
Let's
on
go.
TikTok. All right. Good job, Ben.
We're so back.
We're so back. Yesterday it was over, and then we got to 90,000. We were back. This week in particular has just been miserable. This has been a terrible, it's so frustrating week. I mean,
Yeah.
starting on Sunday with what happened on Sunday, then Monday, it's over, we're back, it's over, we're back, it's over, we're back. I mean,
Just the washing machine. The washing machine. I'm calling it the worry wonder, or the waddle worry. I think that's
Yeah.
what we're doing. If the V shape is really true, no one called it a V shape until we made an all time high.
that's right.
And that's what I think. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, but in my opinion, right now, I think it's a terrible idea to trade any of the next few days, maybe even the week.
100%.
And
100%.
if you're going to,
with my trading. Go ahead.
I think if you're going to trade spot, like I have a little bit of dry powder. I'm going to be looking for spot dips, but I mean, trading right now, I think you might make a lot of money, you might lose a lot of money, but ultimately, I think what's going to happen over the next week, if I were to summarize the next week, here's what I think is going to happen. I think that the longs are going to get liquidated. I think the shorts are going to get liquidated. I think it's going to get everybody. And I think ultimately a week later, there's going to be lots of volatility, and we're going to be marching our way a little bit slightly higher. That's what I think.
I have 0 trades open for the first time, and I don't even know how long. I have some limit orders set, but this volatility and not really having a good feel for. All right, yesterday we saw the strategic reserve signed into law. We saw what did we see first? We saw a big spike, and then boom, huge dump. And then I, on my X account, I saw people being like, what is going on? This was supposed to be bullish. And it's just this timeless truth in investing, not just in investing in crypto, that there's a significantly high chance that, I wouldn't say greater than 50% chance that the thing you least expect to happen is the thing that does happen. The thing that should not happen is the thing that does happen. We see that over and over again. So, what if unemployment today, it came in a tick higher, came in at 4.1%. It was at 4%. What if it came in at like 4.5%? Shouldn't that be a catalyst for the market to dump? There's no guarantees, because, maybe what that means is that the Fed's going to panic and nuke rates down to, 1% lower than what it is right now. And so maybe, the market would zig when everyone's expecting it to zag. Things like that happen all the time. And it's been happening in heavy doses recently, to the point where it's like, I just don't want to be caught flat footed anymore. I was about to say, I was killing it in my trades up until Sunday. And then that huge unexpected thing happened. I was more short than I was long. And I was so caught flat footed, because things like that don't happen on Sunday mornings. And that's what happened Sunday morning. The announcement from Trump, big spike up to $95,000. And then what happened, I'm sure with a lot of people, this wasn't me, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people FOMO'd and bought the top. And then we dumped on Monday. And it's like both sides are getting hammered right now. So I have 0 trades open and I am just waiting.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have any trades. Well, I have some old trades that are like 2x, like super long time frames where I got in at like a really, really, really good. And it's more of like a spot is really what it is, of like a long term thing. I have a couple of those opens, but as far as like over the last week, I have not been trading. And I don't have any intention to until the market makes a clean decision. Because right now it's in an indecisive mode. And I would add to your, whatever is the least expected, I would add to whatever is the least expected and the most painful.
Yeah, good addition there.
Whatever you think is the most painful thing that you can think of, that's what's going to happen.
But we got to manifest this stuff, man. We got to manifest millions. I'm being sarcastic right now. So
yeah. You got to open up your chakras and do your affirmations, and then that's all you need for trading.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I've said it once. I've said it 100 times. 99% of retail should just buy spot, and then just buy spot into your fundamental coins. And guess what? The stress when you have a 10-year horizon, I don't know. It's just way more chill that way than the 10-minute horizon.
Yeah. I mean, yes. The thing that I'm kind of laughing about is like, I'm pretty heavy on the sidelines right now, and yet, and I still feel the stress. But I think it's just like, I know that a lot of people are not in that position, and so I want all of you listening to this live stream. I want you to win. I want you to make it. I don't define making it in terms of financial success, but I got nothing to add to that.
We definitely agree there. We definitely agree.
Not sold my long-term Bitcoin.
Any great buys? There's lots of great buys right now, in my opinion. Me and Alex kind of on the same spot where the dinosaur coins with good tokenomics at their bear market lows, those are all the best plays right now.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that the tariff narrative is exhausted at this point. I don't think that that's going to bring any more shock into the markets. He could say it 76 times today on the summit, and I think we'll be fine. But ultimately, like, we're making higher lows. I want to see a higher high, and that would be a clean reversal, taking us into my original theory, which I'm still holding to it, that the total 2, the total 3 is going to do a 50+% move between now and May. And then we're going to be boring. That's what I think. That's what I think is going to happen. We've been waiting since 2023. If you've been waiting since 2023, I would argue that you either A, have bought coins with bad tokenomics. 2023, I don't know how you're in the red since 2023 unless you're buying coins with bad tokenomics.
Yeah, or you're up, but you're not happy with how up you are.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. There was this guy 18-year-old kid, he's probably 19 now. He had like over $1 million in crypto, and he wanted me to just, wanted an open line on Telegram to message me. And I said yes to him. And then he just, I think he threw in the towel at the bottom in August. We kind of cut it off a few months into it. And I looked at all the altcoins he bought in early 2024. I made a spreadsheet for him and gave like all these live, there's just live updates in the spreadsheet. I revisited that spreadsheet, assuming that he was down big if he still holds any of those altcoins. And I was blown away. He was actually up. he was up like $50,000 on the altcoins he bought, if he still holds those. And this was early 2024. So if we're talking about 2023 and you're not up, I don't know what to say to you, man. You did something wrong. I mean,
Yeah. Well, and also too, like 2023 till now, I don't think is a giant time horizon. I think the minimum time horizon you should be looking at is 3 years, minimum.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that that's a huge time horizon. In reality, here's the stat that is still true. If you bought Bitcoin at any point in time and held for 3 years, you would be in the green. You can't say that about any other asset in the world.
Yeah.
You can't say that about real estate. You can't say that about silver. You can't say that about the stock market. I'm a fan of all of these things, but you can't say that about it. You can't say it about anything. But yeah, 2023. Yeah, something. I would argue that it's probably bad tokenomics, and or like Alex said, you moved your. Because a lot of people want a 5x and then they get a 5x and then they're like, well, actually I want a boat too. So I really need a 7x now. That's what happens a lot.
Yep. What next? I'm waiting for you to pull up a question or comment.
What do you think VeChain gets to?
You can take that one.
246, 20, 40, 60. There's my low, medium bull. Alex would say 40 is the bull.
I'd say 33 is the absolute highest it'll 33. Go. Yeah.
There you go. Either way, VeChain's a 20-year play for me. 10-year. I don't know if I'll be in crypto in 20 years. We'll see.
I'll be in Bitcoin in 20 years.
I'll be in Bitcoin. I'll be in Solnic and Bitcoin.
There we go.
Over what's going on right now. Good. The beatings will continue until morale is improved. That's what I think. Yeah, the similarities. I think there's a lot of nothing is a perfect repeat, but it rhymes. And I think what we have right now is a hybrid between 2021 and 2017 bull market. And I definitely think that we have a hybrid as well between Bitcoin in 2021 when it first shot up, made a new all-time high, and then dropped 30-something%. The sentiment, I think, is very similar too with the altcoins. If you were to combine where Bitcoin was at and you say that it's the total 3 with the C19 crash, if you call that the tariff crash. So let me just make this clean what I'm saying. This moment right here is basically what I think has happened, where you have a huge run up, you make an all-time high, and I believe this is the 1618, which is a common place to get rejected. I'm pretty sure this is the 1618. A little bit past the 1618, not quite to the 2618. You have a massive pullback to the 30+% correction. I think it was 36%. Let me confirm that. 32%. 32% in the stock market. People are losing their jobs. People are, for perspective, the 2008 crisis was like 12% in real estate. 12%, not 32%. The biggest financial crisis we've ever had in our lifetimes was 12%, not 32%. So this is a similar move. I think we went down 28%, especially with sentiment of how sure retail was that we were done for. What was this? From the absolute top to the bottom was 28%. So very similar. So structurally, I think there's similarities between 2021 and I think there's similarities between 2017. The similarities between 2017 is quantitative tightening plus tariffs. The similarities between 2021, I would argue that the altcoins had this same structure of your retracement, then your lower lows, your lower highs, plus your C19 sell-off. Violent V bottom. I think that the altcoins are doing this structure, and I think that Bitcoin is doing this structure right here. That is my sort of thesis on the market, that we're doing something in between. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. Something in between 2017 and 2021. I basically think that the altcoins are somewhere in this position right here. Especially talking about, like, everyone's like, oh, it's at the bear market lows. When have we ever been in a bull market and they're at their bear market lows? Ski. Well, I don't know. Right here, Bitcoin was at 3,900. The absolute bottom was 3,100. So I would say that this definitely constitutes of that. So I think that the altcoins are somewhere in this position, somewhere in here, and Bitcoin, if to sum it up, is somewhere in here. That's what I think. And the interesting thing is, during this pullback too, what you would notice is the total 2, the total 3, which I have it right here. What you'll notice is, during this pullback, is you started making higher lows way before Bitcoin did. And so you started making higher lows way before Bitcoin was. So while Bitcoin was crashing, the altcoins, the total 3 is what I'm looking at on the bottom, were making higher lows while Bitcoin was still going down. And I think that's what we just got too. So that's my thoughts where we're at. And what I want to see is starting making higher highs. We haven't got the higher highs yet, and I want to see that Bitcoin dominance, has topped. I don't want to see Bitcoin dominance make a new all-time high. That would be not good for this theory. And I want to see a higher high from Bitcoin, and I want to see a higher high from the total 3 and total 2. That would confirm my thesis.
Yes.
But still, when me and Alex met in person, I still think that this is the spring. We did get our 94. I want to see us getting above there and holding it to really confirm it as well. But this looks good off the 200 EMA.
Yeah, I mean, we have similar targets. 85, see a daily close above that. There's very little doubt in my mind that it's still on. I've even there's a mega bearish account that I follow on X, very small account. He's got like 11,000 followers, but he called the peak like the day of the peak in December, and so I've been listening to him ever since. And he's flipped a little bit to a point where he does think that we're going to see a new all-time high in Bitcoin, which is just, it's really interesting to me that this super bearish account. I mean, he's talking about like sub $10,000 Bitcoin at the end of the year, that bearish, that he's bullish short term now. Not that, whatever, it doesn't matter. So
I think that's almost mathematically impossible, by the way.
Yeah, and another video that I made today, there is a world where I could see Bitcoin under $10,000 one day. I'm sorry, everybody. Now you all hate me, but we'll see.
Shame.
Shame.
Yeah, I don't see it. I would sell my truck. I will sell my everything and buy Bitcoin if that were to happen. Because my belief on Bitcoin is not the dollar amount.
Yeah. Even if that did happen, which I would say very, very low chance of happening, my belief in Bitcoin long-term is absolutely unwavering.
Yes. I think mathematically, personally, you and I disagree on this. I don't think that we ever go below 50 again.
Yeah, I strongly disagree on that, but it's okay. We can disagree.
And I made a video, and this video is held. I think I made this video in early 2023 when Bitcoin broke above 30,000 for the first time after the bear market.
Yeah.
I think it was in here. What did we pull back to? 25. Yes. So when we broke above, somewhere in this range, I don't remember exactly when it was. I could pull it up. But somewhere between, I'll call January 23 and August of 23. I'm not sure. Somewhere in that range. But I made a video saying that this very well could be the last time we ever see a teen Bitcoin ever again. As in 19,000, as in below 20,000. And that's held true.
Yeah. Held true so
It's
far.
been
I mean, I would say
2
you're
years.
most likely right.
Are you guys mad at each other? Yes. Me and Alex,
Oh
after
man,
this live stream, we're gonna meet up and we're going to have a good old fashioned Rock'em Sock'em Robots encounter.
dude,
I think my
I
phone
can't
just
hear you
died.
anymore.
My phone just died.
Oh,
Okay. Well, I think that's a good place to end this.
okay.
If you could tell them that my phone died.
His phone died. Yeah, it says waiting to reconnect. But personally, I think now might be a good time to call it. Maybe that's a sign.
Yep. All right, guys. I will never message you first. That's somebody from Pakistan or Kakistan. Same thing for Alex. Neither of us are going to message you. We love you, but we're not going to message you. There is no Sonic airdrop. Do not redeem. There's no Hee airdrop. You will redeem your wallet into their wallet. If you want to do that, go ahead. But I don't recommend it. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. In my opinion, I think we're both bullish micro and macro. Definitely macro. Alex, I don't want to speak for Alex, but I'm definitely bullish in the micro. I think that altcoins certainly have bottomed, and I'm most likely that Bitcoin has bottomed as well. Open-minded to that one.
Okay, let's do it. Yes, and I will not message you. I know you already said that, but I also will not message you. There is no Hee airdrop.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for this time. We will be live back on Monday. Most likely, I'm going to live stream the summit and put myself through that torture and pain of just sitting and talking, listen to Trump talk about how awesome he is and how bad, nasty everyone else is. I summarized it for you.